What did Mike Gundy say? And there were times that I thought Mike Gundy played Tennessee to get a raise from Oklahoma State. As a matter of fact, I think there was at least twice that he had no intentions of going to Tennessee, just wanted to flirt with him to improve his standing, which he's done. I mean, there's no question. No coach has been in the school longer and done less than Mike Gundy. What did he say most recently that should further undermine his ability to have success as a coach in college football?
So I'm going to be as fair to him as possible first, because Mike Gundy basically pointed out in the post-House versus NCAA settlement, he has no issues with players negotiating for NIL, trying to get more money. He's all for that. He's all for their rights. But he said that once fall camp hits, the time to bargain for NIL deals and roster spots is gone, and all attention must now shift to the season. His quote is that, here's his exact quote: "The good news is the next 5 months we can just play football. There's no negotiating now. The portal's closed. All the negotiations history. Now we're playing football. The business side of what we do now, we have to have those conversations with them. Tell your agent to quit calling us and asking us for more money. It's non-negotiable now. I'll start again in December."
Okay. Then Dalton Connect would have missed out on a major payday because he did a commercial for a local Mexican restaurant, franchise. And it ran during, I don't know if it ran where you watched it because we all have different providers, but it was obviously put together very quickly. And it was because he had turned into a star. I don't know what he got, but I would be surprised if it wasn't $5,000. So are you going to tell a guy during this season that he can't go make his $5,000 because he's playing so well for you that he's a story and that you're now a story? Caleb, that is not going to go over well in the locker room. And I got another reason why this is a stupid idea, and it has to do with time management. But Caleb, first of all, players, if they want to go make their own deals, he can't legally stop them, which they should be doing anyway. But Caleb, I'll offer you this other thing. If he has that much of a concern about it, he should tell his players not to go to class, because they have an opportunity to maximize their worth right now. And if they take time off, I don't think that college football players should have to go to class anymore. If that time is then spent to run their brand and take advantage of the situation that they're in at that point, there has always been a rule at the University of Tennessee. You can come back and get your degree if you're 65 years old and you're on scholarship once. It doesn't matter. You can come back and get your degree. This is the time where the NIL money is getting to which you could change your family tree financially. We're talking hundreds, if not millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So Caleb, he can't control this. This is one of the most ignorant statements I've heard in a long, long time.
Yeah, and here's the biggest problem with it. Guys, this is not like the NFL, and I think he approaches it like the NFL. In the NFL, you play well. Yeah, in the season, you're playing well. You're not going to have your agent like say, "Hey, get it." You may not have you may not negotiate for a bigger deal in the season. You'll wait till the off season, but you have like a whole future ahead of you. You're a 4-year kid in college football, and many times college football is the maximum you'll be able to play at. What if you're a senior and you're a breakout star in October? You're telling me you can't negotiate for more money until after the season's over?
Let me ask you this too, Caleb. What if you're a 6-3 Oklahoma State football team? You really have nothing to play for, okay? Because you're not going to play for a championship, and you're telling me, because I've already rushed for 1,000 yards. I'm the breakout player. My name's Bob running back, okay? I've rushed for 1,000 yards. I'm a superstar. I'm the one bright spot on this team. I'm Eric Berry in 2008, okay? I'm that guy. And you're telling me I can't go out and take advantage of my worth at that very moment, because it's not going to be there after you're gone. Nobody, I can't tell you how many people have gotten involved with NIL and then the player transferred to, I don't know, Louisville Well, what do you think all that autograph stuff's worth? It's not worth anything.
No, not at all.
So you have an opportunity to maximize your earnings at that moment. This to me is anti-American. It's more than dumb. It's anti-American.
I agree. Now, if some people are saying that it's not about endorsements, it's about negotiating through the school now because of House versus NCAA, you can negotiate through the school. It's still wrong. It's still wrong because, again, you have you don't get another year on a contract in college. You should still be allowed to negotiate more money, even through your school if you're doing well. And by the way, Dave, this will end real fast. If Ollie Gordon III has Oklahoma State in the college football playoff race in November and he's rushing for 2,000 yards and he decides like 2 weeks left in the season, I'm going to sit out for more money. Do you honestly think Mike Gundy wouldn't let him renegotiate for more money when he's got a college football playoff berth on the line?
I would be negotiating for more money. And I know Travis pointed out he's saying the school is going to give money during the season, not independent stuff. But you can't tell me that Mike Gundy, if he's taking this stance and you say, hey, coach, I got a photo shoot, so I'm going to miss study hall, that he's not going to have a problem with that. He's going to have a problem with that. Overall statement, why is class a part of this anymore? Do you think class should be a part of this?
Classes are pointless. I think you should, like you said, you should be able to hold. First of all, they're like, oh, it's about educating the student athletes. The kids aren't even allowed to major in certain things if it conflicts with their football schedule. So if that's the case, you're already shortening their education anyway. Why not let them focus on football, try their future, and then you tell them up front, if it doesn't work, you can always come back and get your degree and go to school for 4 years. We will cover it. We will cover your housing, your food, and everything. And that way they can focus on football. And by the way, here's the better thing. I encourage people to wait. Nowadays, I think people should wait till they're in their 20s to go to college anyway, Dave, because I think a lot of people jump into college with no idea what they want to do. These kids will be older. They'll be more mature. They'll know, okay, my NFL career didn't work out. Now I can go back to college and pursue a degree that, hey, maybe I know what I want to do now. So I've always been a fan of that. And then also, as for, I got a great example of this, Dave, because my concern is not always for I said Ollie Gordon, but those kids are going to go to the NFL and make money. I'm talking a lot of times about the players that they're seniors and they know they're not going to the NFL. This is their last chance. Let's go to 1985. Tony Robinson goes down with an injury. Darrell Dickey comes in. Darrell Dickey knows more than anybody else he's not going to the NFL, right?
Yes.
He comes in October. You're telling me he shouldn't have a chance to renegotiate for some more money when this is his only opportunity ever to do it, leading Tennessee en route to an SEC championship season?
Yes, I definitely would. I mean, that's my only shot.
Yeah.
And the roles of these things are state to state. Let's remember this. So Mike Gundy can say, don't call me, because apparently they're in a state in which he's allowed to be involved in the negotiations. But Josh Heupel isn't, which this is the other side of that, of why the laws need to be universal. Because if they were, then Josh Heupel wouldn't worry about his guys going out and looking for too many endorsements. I mean, let's face it, you could do this to a fault, right? If you're more worried about getting cash than football. But I look at guys like Cooper Mays, and he's told me at times, I'm too busy to do the ball report with fall camp, but preseason camp going on. I'm like, I get that. So one will drop later this evening, by the way. But and to me, you can't tell a college football player or an American that you can't start a landscaping business on the side. Yeah, if Nico comes to Josh Heupel and says, I've always wanted to do landscaping, and I think I'm going to do that on the side, you can't tell him not to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
And yes, exactly. It sounds like a slippery slope. It certainly does.
And also to Todd's question, in this scenario, if a player doesn't produce, can they cut their NIL? You don't think that's happening, Todd? You don't think there's contracts involved that in those contracts, it's like you have to produce this much to continue to make this much? That's happening in NIL deals across the country now. And many of them are performance-based. Kirby Smart just encouraged his collective to cut player salaries if they get in trouble with the law now. Or to cut players' money.
Let me ask you this, too. If a freshman comes in, who's the last freshman phenom we've seen? True freshman in college football.
The last true freshman phenom?
Yes.
There's probably somebody last year. I'm just not sure. I'd have to look that up. But,
find one for me. And I'll remind you that we want you to be a part of Hooker's Corner because you can win fantastic prizes. Just $9.98. We've got a Joe Milton mini helmet autographed by the man himself. Joe Milton's right over my shoulder. Take advantage of that. And also, we would love for you to purchase the Celebrate 98 book, The Untold Stories Behind Tennessee's 1998 National Championship. So give me a freshman phenom.
Well, the one who transferred to Iowa recently, Caden Proctor, that Alabama offensive lineman. I mean, he was a stud. And so,
I'm talking about more like a Johnny Manziel. I'm just going to give you a for example. Manziel redshirted, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't. He started. He was a sophomore by the time he started. Jameis Winston. What about Jameis Winston? Redshirt freshman, won the Heisman, won the national title.
Okay, let's just pretend he's not redshirt. Okay, so he shows up on campus, so he's got the base deal, right? He's got the base 4 or 5 star deal, which let's just say is $100,000 a year. And he goes out there and he pulls a Johnny Manziel or Mike Vick or Jameis Winston in his freshman year. You're telling me round about October, you're not going to be able to call and say, Coach, I've kind of exceeded anybody's expectations. I deserve more money. And the coach is going to say no. Well, then if I'm the player, I'm like, then maybe I don't want to risk my future to injury in this next game. Maybe I should sit a while till you get that worked out. What Mike Gundy and all college coaches need to learn is they haven't lost complete leverage, but they've lost a lot of leverage.
Particularly when the college football playoff is not just 2 games now. It's 3 to 4. You're asking a player who's an NFL draft pick to play 4 postseason games, maybe 5 if there's a conference title game. And you're asking them to play 5 postseason games for you to potentially win a national title, and you don't think they should get paid extra for that? You don't think they have a right to ask for more money when they're putting their bodies on the line and risking their NFL futures in the process?
I'd have a guy standing outside the stadium that would give out like $500 per sack, $5 per yard from scrimmage. I mean, just make it all. I mean, there is nothing, literally nothing that the NCAA can do anymore. So for Mike Gundy to take this stand is pretty idiotic.